deleted allegedly personal Hillary emails. And a key Clinton ally makes an on-the-record admission that directly contradicts what Mrs. Clinton told America. Welcome to the Kelly File, everyone. I'm Megyn Kelly. It is a simple question, still unanswered. Almost 1 week ago, in a Kelly File exclusive, we broke the story on live TV. Did then Secretary of State Clinton sign a separation agreement as she left the department in 2013? The form is OF 109, and the question tonight is, did Hillary Clinton sign it? And if not, why not? That's what we're going to stay on. That form would have required her to certify that she had surrendered all of her work-related documents to the agency before leaving. We know that Hillary Clinton did not surrender those documents. By the way, she would have had to let them review the documents she claimed were personal, too. But if she signed the form certifying that she had returned to the State Department all of the documents, that's a potential felony. Here's what Shannon Coffin of National Review, a former DOJ attorney himself, told us last Wednesday. Did she commit a crime?
If that's the case, there's no question. The form itself says, hey, before you sign this, understand that you are certifying something that we can prosecute you for. Making a false statement in this context, knowingly and willfully, which I can't imagine anything more knowing and willful than knowing you have 55,000 records sitting in your home. If you do that, it is a felony.
That night, we asked the State Department a very simple question. Did she sign OF 109 or didn't she? They didn't answer. The next day, we asked again at the State Department briefing.
Sure. I think this has been asked. It was more than 2 years ago. I don't have an update on that specific question at this point.
The day after that, as our exclusive gained more attention, more of the media began to take notice. The State Department now had 2 full days to work on it. And here was the response when the Associated Press followed up on our story.
Yesterday, you were asked if you knew whether Secretary Clinton signed a separation statement.
I don't have an update on that.
You expect to be able to answer that?
I hope to, yes.
Right, thank you.
At that point, the Kelly File took matters into its own hands. We filed a request under the Freedom of Information Act, or FOIA, on Friday afternoon, trying to compel the State Department to provide an answer. Under the law, all federal agencies are required to respond to a FOIA request within 20 business days unless there are, quote, unusual circumstances, none of which applies here. Today, 5 days after we asked a very simple question, the State Department still had nothing to offer.
I mean, how hard can it be to find?
I understand why you're asking. We're looking to get an answer. I don't have an answer today.
Meanwhile, our own Ed Henry taking our question straight to the source, putting it directly to Mrs. Clinton as she arrived at an event in Manhattan. Watch.
Hello, Madam Secretary. Did you sign the separation statement before you left state? Did you sign that statement?
Which brings us to tonight, and 2 new major twists in the story as Team Clinton changes its story and a top Clinton ally apparently goes off script. Judge Anna Napolitano is our Fox News senior judicial analyst, and they are still stonewalling. They either don't know whether she signed that OF 109 or they know and they won't tell us. But somebody at State is putting poor Jen Psaki in a terrible position.
Well, absolutely. I mean, if Mrs. Clinton did not sign that document, then she stole federal documents from the federal government. If she did sign that document, she committed perjury, because the document says, I certify that I have surrendered everything to you. Look, the premise of the law is the government keeps the documents while you're in office. When you leave, you tell the government which ones you want. The government looks at them and decides which ones you can have, presumably personal ones. She denied the government the ability to do that, and now she keeps changing her story.
And it's a very simple question. When Jen Psaki was asked today, did you look? There's got to be a file on all the State Department employees. She said, well, you know, she's a top official. Well, all the more reason why it would be easy to find. There's going to be a very short, very narrow file with respect to all former secretaries, and just open it up and look. You can't tell me they don't know.
Look, before she leaves the building on her last day in office, she's supposed to sign that document. And an official of the State Department is supposed to sign another document saying, I certify as, and fills in his or her title.
And guess
that
what?
The Secretary of State left all of her documents with me.
And guess
Where's
what?
that file?
Guess what?
Where's that document?
We FOIA'd that one, too. that we've asked for 2 documents. Very simple. Yes or no, do they exist? That is simple. Who at state is making this call? That's the question we need to find out now. Because it's not Jen Psaki.
Right. This is a potential catastrophe for her. It may even involve Secretary of State Kerry, whose job it is to assure that his predecessor's documents are there at the State Department, and who we now know he knows, even though he's in Iran, negotiating God only knows what. We now know that he knows that her documents are not there.
That is a 2-second order. Find the document. Answer the question, yes or no. In the meantime, her other story appears to be falling apart. Why she did this in the first place. I mean, she came out and said it was for convenience, which a lot of people doubted.
She was clear as can be that it was for convenience.
She's a Clinton.
She didn't want to carry 2 BlackBerries with her, even though we know during much of her professional life she carried 2.
Right. The Clintons have been through a lot of investigations, so a lot of people had questions about whether this convenience excuse was real. Listen to what she said last week and listen to what Carville said on Sunday.
I opted for convenience to use my personal email account because I thought it would be easier to carry just one device.
I suspect she didn't want Louis Gohmert rifling through her emails, which seems to me to be a kind of reasonable position for someone to take.
Well, now that reference to Louis Gohmert rifling through her emails is a reference to congressional oversight. Congressman Gohmert, a former judge, is on the House committee to which the Secretary of State reports in justifying her behavior.
She didn't want him rifling through.
Well, then she shouldn't have become the Secretary of State.
It doesn't work that way.
So Jim Carville, who we know, who at one time worked here, is apparently saying, don't believe what she said last week.
Right.
She was trying to frustrate Congress's lawful authority.
Last question. They originally said last week that the way they determined what they were going to delete was they just did some keyword searches, and if it appeared to fall within that keyword search and sounded businessy, they produced it, and if it didn't, they just deleted it. In response to which everybody said, what?
No one believes that.
That's not okay. You can't just do a mass deletion because it didn't happen to have your keywords.
Their story
so
today,
now today it's different.
Their story today is that her legal team read every word of every one of the 32,000 emails that she decided to delete. That's not possible. But even if it were, it's for the government to read, not for her own agents and lawyers loyal to her to do so. That's the point.
Don't get too caught up in whether she deleted it this way or she deleted it that way. The bottom line is it wasn't her choice to make.
Precisely.
And we'll see whether she's certified otherwise in her OF 109. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Megan, always.